Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 26th. We're going to jump right in here. We're going to take a look at your current general energies in this first row. In your second row, we're going to take a look at what you need to hear the most at this time. And in your last row, we're going to look at any messages from your future self and from your guides. I'm going to put the two together. At the end, we will be pulling 3 yes or no question cards. It doesn't matter. If you don't have any questions, that's fine. I'm going to put all 3 cards together, and I'm going to read it as if it were like a personal-ish reading. So that's what we're going to do, Taurus. But Taurus, I am using this deck is called the Tarot of the Mystical Moments. So if you're wondering what this deck is called, that's what it's called. But Taurus, let's see what is going on for you here in your current general energies. Here, Taurus. Taurus, you start off in your current general energies with the Surrender Now card here, Taurus. It's pretty simple. I feel you are surrendering towards a change because you have the Death card in this row. And for a lot of you, this would be you moving towards new love because we have the Five of Swords, the Death card, then to the Lovers. So it's like you're leaving one thing that you love and moving on to something else that you love. For a lot of you, again, this could be like a relationship that you're leaving here. For others, again, not everybody has love, of course. So if you're not leaving a relationship, you are transforming past or moving on from something that once brought you joy, is what that Five of Swords is saying. Sometimes, to me, let's just jump to it again. You have the Five of Swords here, the Death card, and the Lovers. So the Five of Swords, which you have right here, this is the Five of Swords in this deck. The Five of Swords to me can sometimes represent kind of just like something that doesn't fulfill you any longer, something that just doesn't make you happy anymore, or something that has almost become too easy. Those are the words that are popping into my head. So if you're walking away from like a job, a business, or maybe you're walking away from something that you've worked on for a very long time, it's probably because it's not challenging anymore. Again, the Five of Swords, normally there's a guy on the card. He's kind of like walking and he's got like a smirk on his face. It can mean a lot of different things. But what's popping into my head for you is, the Five of Swords can represent winning at all cost. But I feel that's how you maybe feel about something, is like you feel like something has become too easy, or you feel like something is no longer a challenge for you, so it's just no longer fun. and it's just that simple. I feel like that's why you're kind of maybe walking away from something that no longer serves you here. It's going to lead to a major transformation with the Death card here. So you are going through some sort of significant transformation in your life at this time. This transformation, I do feel, is going to be pretty good for you here, Taurus. I feel like it's going to lead to a lot of success for you as well. I feel you've gone through like a stripping down. The Death card to me can represent everything. It can represent, it is considered a good card, but to me, it can represent kind of going through a difficult transformation as well. Because sometimes with the Death card, it's always like a Death Rider on the traditional Death card, where it's like the guy on the horse is a skeleton. And so it's kind of like everything has been stripped away from you, or you've had to experience some losses so that you can find the thing that you truly do love. You have the Lovers here. It's like you're discovering things that bring you joy and happiness. There's like this bluebird on this card here, Taurus, on this Lovers card. And, the bluebirds can just represent like happiness or love and things that make you happy. So you're starting to learn what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. And I feel like you're kind of trying to create more of that stuff in your life. So let's dig into this a little bit more, because I do want to figure out like where is this transition going, or maybe what are you walking towards here, Taurus. Knight of Pentacles, one foot in front of the other. You have the Five of Wands here, and the Chariot, definitely moving towards a victory. It's like a little bit of kind of like entering into the unknown. You have this Moth card here. And whenever I get this Moth card, I always think of like, a moth to a flame, or being drawn towards something. And so for a lot of you, I feel you are being drawn. Even the Chariot can represent being drawn towards something. here he's kind of moving away from the village or that city that is behind him here on the chariot card, and he has these two sphinxes. The two sphinxes represent mysteries or the unknown, and it can also represent the fact that the universe is kind of guiding you at this time, or you're just trusting the universe to guide you. Like I said, with the moth to the flame here, it's almost like you're allowing something to guide you toward success is what I'm getting here, Taurus. But what I mean, what I feel like that is meaning is that you're more following your bliss with this bluebird on the lover's card. I feel like you're more focused on doing things in life that bring you joy, that bring you happiness. For those of you who are looking for love, I do feel that there could be a fellow earth sign coming in for you here if you are looking for love. I would definitely say it's new love that is coming into your life. I feel challenged is what I would say with this Five of Wands. So if you're looking for love, it's kind of like you're maybe more questioning it. Five of Wands is a card of chaos and conflict, but it's also a card of competition. But I'm getting the words competition, anxiety. Those are the words that are popping into my head. So I feel that some of you could be worried about like getting into a relationship and then thinking, oh, this person is going to leave me for someone else or something like that. So I would be careful of that anxiety stuff here, Taurus. In your next row here of what you need to hear the most at this time, you have the action card. I feel like it is time to take action. I feel this is true for pretty much everybody because, just based off the astrology, there are a lot of things that I think are preventing us from taking action. I think that there's a lot going on that is making us tired, is making us question everything. We have a lot going on in the astrology where we could be finding a lot of good ideas or coming up with even good ideas in all areas of our lives, but it's like the astrology is then saying, but what if this happens? What if that happens? What if my car explodes and then I can't execute on my plan? It's like all the what ifs are coming up right now. So I feel like you need to take action here. On what? Let's find out. The most important thing you need to hear right now, you have the Six of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the King of Swords. The most important thing you need to hear right now is that you are ready. The King of Swords is a card of like quick, decisive action, kind of like I'm sorry, this is the King of Swords, but kind of like the Knight of Swords. The King of Swords makes very quick decisions, but he is ready. He is prepared. Out of all the kings, the King of Swords has been through the most battles. He's been through the most wars in his life, and it just represents the fact that you have been through all the battles, all the challenges. You have learned from these things, and now it is time for you to make your move, is what this card is saying to me. Even the Two Wands is a card of taking the lead. It is a card of kind of stepping up. Normally there's a wand behind the person on the Two Wands. There are no wands on these cards here, but normally there's a wand behind the person on the Two Wands. Kind of says where they have been is complete. It is done. And then they have the whole world in their hands and they're grabbing on to the wand in front of them. So it kind of represents the fact that now it is time for you to start a new journey here in your life, Taurus. For a lot of you, you have the Six of Swords here. It's an interesting Six of Swords. She's like sitting in this black cloud on this Six of Swords here, Taurus. And it's almost like you feel a black cloud is kind of always following you around in your life. I feel for a lot of you, this could be, past experiences. For some of you, I feel it is a person over here. Even if we look at this Five of Swords here, Taurus, it's almost like this person here is standing behind her, that person that's in the shadows there. And I feel that for some of you, it's almost like someone has control over you. I don't think that someone really has control over you, Taurus. It's just almost like that energy of feeling like there is something kind of like behind you. There's something looming behind you. It's like that feeling of being watched or being followed or whatever you want to call it. So I feel for some of you, it's almost like you have that feeling that something is kind of like always hanging over your head. For some of you, I feel like it's a person here. And I've had this message for you before, Taurus, where it's almost like you feel guilty for a past person or something like that. I'm not really sure how to take that. It's going to be different for all of you, of course, Taurus. But I think you need to realize that you are going to get what you focus on. I think it's very interesting that there is a star here on this kind of top end. You see at the bottom there's an anchor and she's holding on to a line, and the other thing there is a star. It's almost like she in this cloud, it's like staying in the middle of the card, and intuitively I feel like it's kind of like saying that her dreams and the things from her past are kind of keeping her anchored, but they're just keeping her kind of status quo here, Taurus. They're just keeping her right in the middle, and that's what's really popping into my head. I feel you need to cut this anchor right here. I feel you need to let go of something from the past, and that's what is kind of like holding you back. The Six of Swords can represent baggage. There's always a small child in the back of the boat on the Six of Swords, and this can represent baggage or things that kind of hold you up or hold you back. So I do feel some of you need to kind of release some baggage. I do get that there are some fears here with this star as well. She's got that star up here, and this girl here, it's like she is holding on to this world, but she's looking up at the moon here, Taurus. The moon, to me, in tarot can represent dreams, because especially a full moon. The full moon in tarot represents a period of innovation, a period where you could be wanting to try new things or start new things in your life. So for a lot of you, it's like you have big dreams here, and that's what's kind of popping into my head. Let's see where this is going, Taurus. So you have the Seven of Pentacles here, you have the Six of Wands, major success coming in for you, and the Queen of Pentacles. Like I said, the Queen of Pentacles to me on that King of Swords is just confirmation. It popped into my head immediately. Like I was saying on the King of Swords, he's been through the most battles. He knows exactly what to do in life. The Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. It just says you have the resources now to be successful. So like I said, I feel that this is just confirmation on that King of Swords. I feel like it's just saying, you're ready. That's it. That's it. There, Taurus. This up here, Seven of Pentacles, is like, how much work do I have to put in to make something a success? I feel like you're asking yourself, he's looking at these Seven Pentacles here, Taurus, and he's like saying to himself, how much work do I have to do? Or is the work that I'm doing even worth it? And like I said, I was getting this like questioning thing on the Six of Swords here with that star. It's almost like you're saying to yourself, if I cut this anchor right here, and that star is just going to bring me up and up and up and up, what heights will I reach? I've talked about this before. Becoming very successful can be scary because it's like there's like weird stuff that you have to deal with in outer space, is what this is saying. So it's like you're being lifted up. Even look at this. Your last card here, Eight of Wands. It's like she's being lifted up by all these umbrellas. This reading is really asking you to lighten the load. I feel like it's asking you to release the things that kind of hold you down, that bring you down to earth. I feel like you need to dream big. I feel like you need to be kind of like unrealistic in certain, in certain ways. I've talked about this before, but this to me is irrational self-confidence. I think there's a difference between being cocky and irrational self-confidence. There is, because the thing with irrational self-confidence is that there is a knowing that you are going to be successful, especially with that King of Swords. Like, I think that there is this energy here of needing to be confident, especially if you're working towards a project or a goal here, Taurus. I feel like there is a need for you to be almost like a little bit cocky, right? Because it's like you have the goods to back it up here with the King of Swords, for sure. In your last row here, for any messages from your future self and your guides, you have the Observer card. It's literally asking you to focus on this star that's on that Six of Swords. Is asking you to focus on what you desire and what you want to create in your life. So I feel like that needs to be your focus. You have the Eight of Wands, King of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. I mean, just on a love side note, I do feel like there is communication coming in for you in love. I feel like this is a very vibrant person. I feel like this person is very talkative. It's popping into my head right now. Like I'm getting the words chatter or something. Like I feel like this person talks a lot. But it's like good conversation. This is not going to be a problem. So if you're looking for love, there's definitely love here. Could be a water sign. You've been having a water sign come up in your readings quite a bit. Could also be an earth sign as well. Could be a mixture of the two, of course. I feel that you'll meet this person through socializing very clearly with the Eight of Wands here. Definitely a good person for you. As far as messages from your guides or your future self are concerned, it's like your guides are asking you to remove anything that is weighing you down. It's like, I think things are going to be very straightforward for you over the next 6 months. I'm getting 7 months maybe. I don't trust psychic timing at all, but I feel like over the next 7 months or so, it's like there's going to be these very straightforward choices where it's like you're going to be making choices in all. I'm speaking very generally, but this is very general, Taurus. It's like there are going to be choices in multiple areas of your life, like work, business, love. And it's like one choice is going to weigh you down. One choice is going to be the anchor. The other choice is going to be the star, right? And it's going to be something that lifts you up. I feel this Eight of Wands here is saying, pick the star, pick the thing that is going to lift you up, pick the thing that, brings you up here as well. I feel like there's, the King of Cups is a card of emotional depth, and that's really what I'm getting here is that this King of Cups is asking you to kind of focus on emotional depth. I feel like it's asking you to focus on your internal emotions as well. I love this King of Cups because it's like all the emotions are inside of him here on this card. I think that's amazing. I think that's like a really good representation of what the King of Cups truly represents is kind of like the inner emotions can represent inner turmoil, not being sure what to do. But this card is asking you to focus on your emotions because they will be guiding you at this time. And you have the Three of Pentacles. Teamwork, I mean, pretty much everybody gets messages of teamwork right now. So teamwork is going to be very beneficial for you right now here, Taurus. I feel teamwork kind of makes the dream work. It's also a card of quality work as well. I think you need to take smaller steps here is what this card is asking you to do. It's like saying you can do, especially in like work or business, or you might be retired and working on like a side project here. It's like there's something you do very well, but it's like almost like it needs to be nurtured. It's like a flower here on this Three of Pentacles here. And I feel it's saying like something needs all your tender love and care, but I also feel like something needs to be like learned more. It's like you need to kind of put more energy into figuring things out, especially if you're working on like a new project, new business, pretty much anything like that. It's going to require like a lot of care, and that's what I'm getting here for you, Taurus. But let's clarify this and see. You have the Hangman here. So again, the Hangman is saying, I feel like you need to not question your answers. I feel you are getting answers. It's like you're kind of understanding things on a whole new level. You're understanding how to do the things you want to do in your life. But there is a very strong need for you to not question it, is what I'm getting with that energy. You have the Queen of Swords. Like I said, you see things very clearly. Things are becoming very clear. Things are going to become very straightforward here as well. I get this it's going to be hard for me to describe this feeling that I feel, but it's almost like you're being presented with choices, like I said, but not just for the next week. I feel like for like the next 7 months, probably. It's like you're being presented with choices. Some of the choices you're being presented with are going to challenge your beliefs. Those are the words I'm getting on the Queen of Swords. And what I mean by that is that it's like you might believe certain things about relationships, but it's like the universe is about to be like, look at this. I feel like the universe is about to kind of like say, psych, I feel like the universe is going to be just changing your beliefs, making you look at things differently. Hangman is gaining a new perspective. And so I want to say, this is not a warning, but I do want to, warn you here, Taurus, that there might be some, kind of like uncomfortable moments I feel over the next 7 months where it's like something you believed for a very long period of time turns out to not be true. Or maybe you start making choices that go against old beliefs. And this is not a bad thing. This is growth. I mean, that's how we grow. And so it's like you're learning to look at things from a different point of view here. And that's really like the energy that I'm getting from this reading. You do have the Three of Swords. It's funny because it came out in reverse here on this Three of Pentacles. I feel that this is just an energy that you need to release, is like the fear of being hurt, the fear of kind of being injured as well with this energy. So I would just let go of those fears. But this is a really good reading here, Taurus. I like it. It is very general to me, but it's also very simple. I feel like it's just saying, focus on things that lift you up, not things that drag you down, plain and simple. And I feel like you need to use that as your guide. That's the challenge, right? Is that some of the things that might be lifting you up at this time for like the next 7 months are going to be things that you might not necessarily agree with. Again, this is not going to be anything illegal. This is not going to be anything, scary or anything like that, but there just might be some certain things, like maybe you believe in a certain diet, for example, and maybe it turns out to not be true, but maybe there's another one that is true for you, right? And so there's like this element of needing to just be willing to try things. It doesn't mean you have to commit to things forever. It just means, I feel like this reading is saying, just try it. I feel like there's love coming in. It might be a little unconventional or something different about this person here. And so it's like you're questioning it. You're saying to yourself, I've had bad experiences in love. This person seems very different. So even though there's a certain type of person who hurts me here, who's always, back here, like I said, this person's behind the other person's back. It's like there is an element of comfort. But this reading is asking you to try new things, basically, Taurus. But that's that. So Taurus, we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards now. We're going to do 1, 2 here, and 3. Sure, we'll take it. Feel free to pause this video if you need to think of your questions. I'm going to also answer these all together. For question number 1, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I would say yes, definitely a change in your circumstances, kind of like a change in your luck. I am getting inner workings. It's kind of interesting. All these gears are kind of like inside her body here on this card, Taurus, and I am getting like you're understanding the inner workings of something, and that's what's making you more successful. So I like it. For question number 2, you have the Star. I would say yes, definitely. And I feel like this is like your whole entire reading. I feel like you need to kind of move towards the Star. If you're asking what the Star is, it is, again, it's not just one thing for you. Taurus, the Star in your reading is all the things that lift you up just like a little bit, right? All the things that make you feel just a little bit better. And for question number 3, you have the Knight of Wands here. I do almost feel like saying no on this card, so I'm going to trust my intuition here. Even though the Knight of Wands is not a bad card, I am getting no on this card, so I would just say no. Putting this all together, it is just literally a repeat of your reading. Knight of Wands moves towards things he truly desires to do. He doesn't do things that he doesn't want to do, and that's what this reading is asking you to do. I feel like I just said the word do about 900 times, but this reading is asking you to move towards your desires, move towards your joy, your bliss, your happiness with this blue bird here. It's asking you to move towards the sun, or the stars, really. And, I feel like you'll be accomplishing a lot in the near future. So, love it. Thank you very much, Taurus, for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. Also, feel free to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you this week. But thank you, Taurus, and definitely enjoy your week.